Do it now. Diddy Mow. What the hell?
And honestly, the best thing that's come out of this whole new format is that it doesn't matter when we do it. It doesn't. I mean, it's
easier.
Honestly, it'd be like I can't do the show anymore if we're locked into that time because I got to be more flexible.
See, we are. We need to talk about WGNC.
I just need to tell you those letters because that doesn't ring a bell. Oh, the Charlotte thing. Gotcha.
Yeah.
We need to start our Patreon today.
All right. God damn. What the
I need to do one more thing too. Sorry. I gotta put this on our page so people can see it. Copy. Yeah, I haven't heard. While I'm doing this, I'm only filling time while I'm actually doing this. I haven't heard word one out of NMX about when the next conference is. Well, this time last year, in April, we had the $99 tickets, and they were up on their site, and now it's
in April we did?
Yeah, we were offered. It was like March. We were offered.
I wonder if we should email them and say, hey, did we miss something?
Go to their, hey, I'll do it. Never mind. We need to go to their site. I don't think they've announced dates, locations, anything. I know they were changing. They were going to change things.
Maybe they're not going to do it.
It's a possibility. It's always a possibility.
Their conference record. Oh, by the way, we can download the stuff, the digital recordings. We can the virtual pass.
Okay.
We can download them.
All right.
So and I did that with one. Stay tuned. Dates coming soon.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm concerned. I know a new podcast conference is starting in June, this coming month in Texas. We'll see where that goes. We can't obviously do anything this year. All right, I've got us set. We're on the page. If you're ready to go.
Yeah. Tell me, marker time.
You're recording all that?
No, I'm not recording.
Okay.
Just time is fine.
All right. It's fine. All right, stop. I hate that. It's just a pet peeve. All right. So it's recording. I'll go ahead and I'll do time, then marker, then music. Time, marker, and here goes the music.
This is R. Morton Mon.
And I am Charles McFall. And we are all about bigger, badder, better, more.
Bigger, badder, better, more. We're here to help others be awesome.
And you've landed on the comedic motivational show, Success Freaks.
Welcome everyone to the #1 Is That All You Got? Comedic motivational show, otherwise known as Success Freaks. Tonight's working title is episode 151, Life Happens, going from knee deep to neck deep. And tonight we are coming at you semi-live from the Bears Den in Monticello, Georgia. Yes, I said it wrong on purpose. And sitting right across from me, trying not to giggle, but doing it a little bit, is the dark side of positive, Charles McFall.
It's been 3 years, this is 151 episodes, and you still manage to come up with some crazy, crazy openings that are suitable to what we're doing.
Suitable.
So it's interesting. I don't care how you say Monticello, except Monticello is the right way. But I'll be living here shortly, so I don't care. I never did care for the 12 years I've been here. So, but going knee deep to neck deep, we've been talking about money all this month and talking about finances and showing you the good things and the things you want to go to. And being honest about my journey and things that are going on, and everything just kind of came to.
It just went from knee deep to neck deep.
Yeah, there you go.
Things got deeper.
Things did get deeper, and as I talk over, you stopped talking, so I'll talk back. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We originally planned to talk about tithing, giving, and the law of reciprocity.
Yeah.
And we canceled that because I can't say reciprocity. Actually, no. It just this weekend, leading up to this show, pivotal moment. I mean, it just was a big
Moments,
change.
not just
Moments,
one.
yeah.
You had a lot of stuff going on.
So I guess we just jump right in. Go for it.
Yeah, let's. I mean, what we have been talking to you about all things having to do with your finances, having to do with budgeting, et cetera, et cetera. But what happens? What happens when you're reaching that moment? You're like, you're cruising along and you get hit once. Okay, you're cruising along, you get hit again. You're cruising along, and it's almost as if something or someone is gunning for you. WTF? What's up with that?
I think they are.
And is that because of the good work you're doing? Is that because maybe it's just something you've done in the past and it's just coming to a head now? Is it, you got demons or gremlins in your background, or what's going on? And what can you do about it? What can you do about it? Because there's a lot of different ways we can go. So, Charles, go ahead and begin with your.
And I will go ahead and say, for those watching live or listening on the station, this will be more podcast formatted, simply because it's one long story. Usually we have an overview, some breakdowns of important parts, and then a wrap-up. But this is going to be more of a flow today. It's just the way it suits, and it's the way we are, so stay tuned and ride along. As many of you may or may not know, about 9 months ago, I got laid off from a job, and I was making really good money. And we saw it coming, and we planned for it. We alluded to it on Success Freaks leading up to it. Things are going to change for me this year. And while I was very careful about what I said and very much focused on the success and the positive of what could change, I'm a realist, and I know that things change the way they need to. And I could have changed because I've made so much money doing what I love that I just left my old job working for the man, and now I'm doing great. The reality was the other option, and there's still no worst case in this, but the reality was the other option that I got laid off. And we took different paths, we did different things, we tried different things. And I'll go ahead and leave with the good. From February of 2014 to April of 2014, I doubled my income doing what I love, which is the name of the book, Double Your Income, Doing What You Love, which we read a couple years ago. And it really did go from a hobby to where I was kind of getting money to a demanding job, which was good because I needed one. That wasn't quite meeting my needs. To in 2 months, I went from $800 to $1,800. So, guess good stuff. But it's not enough. It's not enough. I've gone from knee deep to where we're tightening it up. We're struggling. We're looking at the road to come to the reality of what is to come. And I have to keep watching the clock.
Right. Well,
now, I want to touch on something real quick, and you can take over. You talk about it feels like somebody's gunning for you. I'm going to say in a good way it is. I know what I want. I've never lost focus of what I want. I want to change the world. I want to have the freedom. And for me, freedom is money. I want to have the freedom to change lives, to not be concerned with, well, can we do this, but how well can we do this? And I know, what Mordaunt has said many, many times, we're constantly leveling up our lives. As Success Freaks, we're leveling up our lives, and we think we're ready for something, but maybe we're not. Another project I'm working on had that conversation today going, well, I know exactly where we're going. We all have the exact same vision on this project, and it's a business project. It was very much done by CEOs and led by business, where audio is the core. And we see exactly where this is going. And I know we're not ready. And part of it is us getting ready. And we feel that all the way around. But I do believe the universe is gunning for me because it says, oh, yeah, you want this? I'm giving it to you. And you're going to have to trust me. And it's hard. It's hard to trust. You were saying something.
Yeah, we wanted to do this partially because this is exactly what we're going through, and a lot of you are going through the same thing. So there's nothing like being in the trenches and knowing that there's somebody else next to you that you're not alone. That there may or may not. Is there a quick fix? Is there an easy fix? Or are the Success Freaks going to lay it down for us, or are they going to say, hey, I need to keep my head low and just keep moving forward, You might get a little bit of both in this episode, but this is us reaching out to you and saying, listen, even successful people, even successful freaks are dealing with the same thing that you are. And part of the reason, the freaky part of this is because we're going to keep worrying that bone, even if it doesn't feel like it, even if emotionally, right? Because right now, just this because of what's going on this week, Charles is reeling from the punches, and it's okay that you get knocked down. It's okay that these things happen to you. It's okay that sometimes you get really despondent as well, as long as you can pick yourself back up and find a way to move forward. And we're going to see if we can work our way towards that as we go today.
Now, the other thing, still keeping an overview without getting too deep into the story yet, because I'm keeping an eye on the time. We are very dedicated to our format. We love what we do here. I want to turn this into an interview, if you will. You throw the hard questions, and I'll make sure to keep my answers shorter, as opposed to me just telling my story. Because if I just tell my story, it's just going to pile on.
Right.
You can, and you need to jump in at any point in time. We're going to give that to you, the audience, and let you see that. Here's the short version: is as I've progressed in my business and further away from being laid off, there was it still is a lot of potential to make a lot of money, to do very, very well. We've been holding it together until now. But the reality was we had to look at the possibility of bankruptcy. We had to look at the possibility of losing the house, of all kind of different things. Because my wife and I are both realists, and we work so well together that way. We had those conversations. The harsh reality this weekend, and I'll give the details in the next segment because we're going to run out of time. The harsh reality it hit. There was no more choice. I have to file. I will be losing my house. I already lost a car this weekend. So, I mean, things are just
now. That was a mechanical breakdown.
It was.
That wasn't like you
I
didn't get repoed.
Where's my car?
I know.
Dude.
I lost in the parking lot. Aliens took my car.
It had nothing to do with finances. It was a mechanical thing, and it was a car that we could lose. And we'll get into that into the next segment because we're in that countdown. There probably will be some crying. Just give me the 1 minute count. Thank you. Because I want to touch on the emotional. We're going to touch on the smart and the cerebral and the realities of all of it. But we're also going to touch on the emotional and the hardships and everything we're going through. And you're going to see how to look up when everything's keeping you down. Thank you. I got a nice throw. Because
there's
that's
a sound
what I want
bite.
it to be. It's not just this is wrong, because that's the paradigm of life is I'm happy and sad all at the same time. I'm no longer angry. That's burned out. But it's the foxhole. You have to look at what life is, not what you want it to be, and not what you think it is as a bad or good. So stay tuned. Get on Twitter, hashtag us Success Freaks. Look, I really could use an email. Contact at Success Freaks. Let us know you're out there. I need to hear from you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right. So I'll let you lead this next one. Of course, you bring us in, and we have no real direction other than just start asking. You already know the story.
Right.
Just start and ask the hard things. Ask the stuff you want to know. Whatever. Don't think of it as Success Freaks. Think of it as your coaching, and how would you pull the information out so we can get to the successful part or the happier part.
All right. Well, now
or do it however you want.
We've already covered what's going on. In a nutshell,
nutshell.
Let's put it this way: we could spend the whole show talking about what's going on, and I don't want to spend the whole show going, and this is happening, and this is happening, and this is.
No,
happening.
we need to talk
That's
about,
for you and I.
We need to talk about the emotions of it and dealing with it.
Right.
So we have to talk about some of what's happening, like losing the house. Do you have a plan?
Right.
Okay,
so
to show people how to keep their heads up.
Now what? Is kind of what I want to.
Okay.
You just been kicked in the nads. Now what?
A great question that Avery asked in the midst of all of it. It's a good question. It's a seriously good question to ask. Was, does Aaron still love you? Do you have each other? Because that's a big deal right now. Her mom's in the hospital. Her mom's had medical issues a lot. And this could be a simple one. This could not be a simple one. And but she's at the hospital right now. All these things are piling. What's happening here? But I feel like if I just start talking, I'll go off into storyland like bear crawling or like the old days, and we don't want that. So you really need to do what you do in this case. Normally we don't do that. We toss it back and forth. And I'll try to act like you're interviewing me and keep it down because I know we have a time limit.
All right, let's try up. And also, if we find a segment isn't working, we can also redo the segment.
Yeah.
So this one's 8:59.
Well, in all honesty, we may just end up recording extra stuff, and I'll just go edit too. I mean, that's where I'm shining right now is production and editing, and I get it more.
Well, also, it's my intent to make sure that Success Freaks doesn't take up too much of your time.
I know. See, it's the yin yang of fuck all. Write this phrase down, because this is something we have to get into, because it's very poignant for me right now. Glory to glory, which means going from one good to another good, right? And Avery told me this, and I won't quote her like that, and I won't say it this way because it's not what we do on our show, but she said to me, the two is full of shit. It's the hardest two letters in that whole phrase. The transition part, the two, is full of shit, which is interesting. So you let me know when you're ready, and I'll do marker in time. I'll kick this camera back to you.
All right, we'll see what we do.
Okay, marker.
Oh,
nope.
Good, no.
Oh yeah, sorry.
All right, I got my time ready.
Ready? Marker time.
Welcome back to Success Freaks. Today we are discussing everything happening to you at once. Life happens. How you're going from neck deep to knee deep, and what do you do then? And I'm speaking with my cohort in Success Freaks, Charles McFall, who this past week has really gone through the ringer. A lot of things happening at once. A lot of things piling on. Some things you could see coming, but then other things pile on, and mechanical problems and financial problems and sicknesses and everything like that. And you just literally, well, not literally, but unless there's something I don't know, you got kicked in the nads by life, and it seems like you're somebody's gunning for you. What do you do from here? How do you deal with this? Are you dealing with this?
I think coping is probably a much better term. And you get what you need. Those who believe in God say God never gives you more than you can handle. Those who believe in the secret or the universe, and they're not mutually exclusive. I just want to say, don't get turned off because I use the word God. If you believe in the secret, if you believe in the universe providing or an energy greater than yourself, if you don't believe in any of that, then you're probably not listening to the show anyway, because you have it all figured out and you're on your own. But you don't get more than you can handle, and this is Memorial Day weekend, which every year for the last 4 years I started with Bear Calling, we've carried it on through Success Freaks. We've been doing we call it the field trip, and friends of mine fly in from a couple different places in the United States. They're here for almost a week. It's not just about the Renaissance Festival and going together. It's about everybody reconnecting. It's the only time that typically we get to see other members of the team all in one place, the Success Freaks team. And so we canceled this, actually. We canceled it at first because we just saw the slide going down and everything going on. And I keep myself occupied. And my wife had a big discussion about it because it was stressful and this and that. And finally she said, you need to do it. It'll be fine. It's just stress. We're good. And Morton and I had some really long talks about the stress level in the house and everything going on. And we've changed how we've done the show this year, or this season, really is the best way to put it. And it's been a touch and go, figure out as we go thing. It's been hard. But Aaron and I constantly had these conversations about we have to get okay, we may lose the house. That's a big thing to think about. We have to look at, okay, we are almost not affording our bills. I say it that way because it's like we just got it, but things are really tight. We weren't sure we were going to make it. Okay, we made it. Okay, but there's no breath. There's no break. There's no breath. We have to go to the next set of bills. And then it came to where, okay, this month we're not paying the house payment, but we still can see what's happening. We can still kind of get caught up. But you have to talk. That's how you deal with it. A reason I've done all this longness is people being here have kept us from wallowing and focus. Just like this format on this show, it's focused us because we're only getting 20 minutes at a time to just be together. And it's by choice. Friday I had 2 appointments with lawyers, bankruptcy lawyers, because I wanted to get differing opinions. It's good because the first one was essentially, you're not the client for me. 15 minutes. The whole time was, this won't do, this won't do, this can't do, this won't do. I left very dejected and almost helpless, going, "We're screwed. I mean, bankruptcy ain't gonna do anything for us because we're still trying to hold the house." So in that mindset, this ain't gonna help. Went to the second lawyer, spent 2 hours in that office, and she helped me, and she gave me some hope, gave me the information I needed to make my decisions. And Friday night, my friends came in. So we're like, okay, we're just going to have a weekend. None of this is right this second. We can't deal with anything right this second anyways at the end of the business week, long holiday weekend. When everybody goes, we'll deal with it then. That's fine. Saturday, the car overheated and ultimately died. I got the phone call today. It's gone. The Cruiser's 12 years old and over 200,000 miles. And we can't afford to even try to fix it. It's just been piling on. But what keeps us up is those 20 minutes of, okay, we've got 20 minutes. We're going to work on this right now. We're going to talk about the realities. We're both sad. We both admit. And I don't know that my wife's cried at all. I've cried a whole bunch this weekend just because emotionally I'm failing. To her, it's we're trying everything. And I'm putting words in her mouth. I don't know, but we're trying everything. We're getting there. We're doing it together. And the reality is this will change. I will literally quote her because there's no way we have to do this. We don't have a choice. We need to get rid of this house and move. And other people phrase it as like you're giving the house back. I know these things, but I don't feel these things. I feel the loss. But she goes, I hope that this will change enough, because it definitely seems to change enough that we already know it's going to give us opportunities for new work and opportunities that we don't have now. Morton said earlier today, it's a lifestyle change.
Yeah, because you're not just losing the house, because your house is way out in the country, and that's, you were telling me today something I never even thought about, is that you spend an inordinate amount of gas,
$400 a month,
just being able to go to the grocery store, and as the kids get older, when they get more involved with school functions and things like that, I don't think that it's so much, and you've said this, it's not so much that this is the house, this is the home that you're having a hard time letting go of.
Yeah.
But
for me, it was one last thing I could fight for her.
Right.
And I lost that battle.
Right. So on some level, it's even touching you as a man. It's even touching you as the head of the household.
Yeah.
Now, in all of this, though, do you have a sense that you are alone in this, or?
No. I can talk to her, to Erin. We pulled together on this because it's very easy for you to pull apart.
Yeah. And blame and push and.
Right. And we've had those fights. And you need to have those fights, because human nature says that it can't be me, it has to be you. Because if it's me, I don't know how to fight myself.
But what's been your experience in this?
I made all the right choices. At the beginning of all of this, back in July, maybe even June of last year, while for the second time in my life, she knows I really want to pursue this, this being the podcasting, the audio, the production, the producing, the talking for a living. And she knows somewhere deep down that's the right thing to do. But mentally, it's how do you build a business on something I don't even know how to build a business on. But for the second time in my life, she said, we know we're getting this layoff package. You should quit. Go ahead and pursue your dream and give it X amount of time. And when if it doesn't work, not when, she said, if it doesn't work, then you go get a job. And I said, no. Not because I don't want a job, because I don't. Because I knew that wasn't right. I was like, not until I have a business. I'm a very business-minded person. I've become more of a business-minded person. And you don't just quit money to hopefully maybe make money without a definitive plan. And hopefully some kind of testing ground to know what's coming. That was the biggest and best decision of all. Because in all the hardships and all the fights and the fact that we are now moving against our will, more or less. I mean, that's all bad for me. I don't know what to say. But the fact I didn't make the wrong decision and I quit and I brought this on us. That's been the best thing.
That's good. But with all of this happening with you and Erin, what's been your experience with each other this time with all this, with this past week? Have you been pushing against each other?
No, the short answer is we've been pulling together.
There you go.
And that might be a good way to come into the next segment. If this is touching home, if you've got more questions, hit me. Contact at Success Freaks. Hit Charles at Success Freaks. It's fine. You hashtag us on Twitter. success hashtag is Success Freaks or at success_freaks and let us know what's going on. And I'll share everything I can. Hopefully you'll get some help out of this, and maybe you got some help for me because I'll take it. So we'll be right back. You want more details on that?
No, I think 2 segments of this is what's going on, this is what's going on, I think is enough.
Well, it's leading to the up because us pulling together is a good up, and we can talk about what's next.
I would like to see, I want to talk about at some point, why do you think this is happening?
Okay. I'll let you lead. You lead
Right.
and get what you want out of it.
And at some point, and then the rest, really, it's like, okay, what can you do about this? What do you see this, what's the good thing that you see about
Right.
this? Because honestly, even though you're in the middle of all this and it may not feel like anything, this is Success Freaks. And if you're like, man, I don't know, that's fine. It's like, I don't feel this. That's what I think my life is going to suck from this point on. That's a valid answer. But I don't want to just go, here's the problem, here's my problem, here's my problem.
No, how are we solving
Right.
it? Yeah,
Now, and if they can hear, here's the thing, this is the thing that's going to be powerful. If while you're in this, you can speak to them, this and not give bullshit, but really go, this is what I think, this is what I see. Maybe I'm not feeling it right now, but I think that it's, whether you think it's a test, where you think it's challenged you to level up your life, whatever that is, if you can speak to them about that, I think that's going to resonate. And if you can't, then I'll just bitch slap you and I'll talk about something.
All right. Well, you have to always talk about something. And we're back to 9:59.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was your cut with the ice on the table.
Yeah.
Condensating.
Yeah. I didn't know.
I thought it was the kids. No, I literally thought it was kids. I didn't realize it was
I thought you were
telling
about
it.
You were telling me, about the condensation of the ice, and I'm like, oh, okay.
No, it's not that it condensates. The kids literally will get a glass. That's it when they're cut.
And leave it there.
And leave it all day.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge puddle.
Nope, wasn't them.
Okay. So I wasn't mad at you. I just thought they left the damn cup. Then I looked at her and went, oh, never mind. Well, you know what wasn't at you, so you're all right. All right, I will do marker, then time, and then you'll go.
Yeah.
Marker, time.
Welcome back to Success Freaks. Today we are talking about what is happening when life happens all around you. You're going from knee deep to neck deep. What can you do? Our fellow Success Freaky friend, Charles McFarland, has had a very, very rough week of things, and he's been talking about a little bit about that. We ended with how he's discussing how instead of in the midst of all the financial troubles, him and his wife Erin are actually pulling together, and it's bringing them closer together. Although this is not the best reason, not the most romantical reason to bring people together, it is a possibility. I'm going to segue a little bit and ask you, why do you think this is happening? What is going on that all of a sudden, is this just coincidence? Are you just the lucky winner in life's cruel practical joke? Or is there some reason for anything? What do you think?
I think that to get what you want is very difficult. And there are definitely times I wish I was not in the church I'm in. There are different times I wish I wasn't a success freak. Life was so much easier when I didn't know what I wanted. I could work for the man, and it fed my habit, which was podcasting and creative, and I always want bigger, better, more. And I wish those things, because if I were religious, I'd be like, oh, God's going to deliver me. And I'm not religious. And I know the reality is, if you want to be stronger, you have to lift the weights. And I mean,
is that what you think you're doing right now?
Yeah. Yes. I've always focused on, I truly want to be a millionaire. Not because I want to be rich, because that's how you change the world. Money makes the world go round. My energy, my talk, my influence, but when I don't have to worry about putting food on the table or anything else, which might not be millions, but it's more money than I have now, I'm free to help. The reason I want to be a millionaire is because I see Steve Jobs, I see Jim Henson, I see Oprah Winfrey, and how they changed the world by just giving it away. And you said something, I know you didn't come up with this, I know you read this somewhere, but you told me recently, and if it's the wrong quote, correct me by all means, that money is our ability to give gratitude. But we say thank you by, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the sole purpose of money is to express gratitude. And that is a quote that I heard from a Joe Vitale recording of another guy, like some 90-year-old guy, but he was talking about that, and I thought about that in with your bills and with everything else. You're, instead of going, oh man, I got to pay my bill, I got to pay my phone bill, it's $130. What the hell is up with that? It's thank you for my phone, thank you for this, thank you for that. It just changes your attitude with that.
And I've always held on to that. Now, I've never been thank you for phone bills, but I've never been mad at paying a bill.
No, just thank you for the phone. It's not thank you for the phone bill.
Yeah, well, no, I understand what you're saying. I've always been grateful. And I've been learning for the last maybe year, maybe a little bit more than a year, how to be grateful with money. And the bishop used a term called glory to glory. And it's going from one good thing to another. And the two part is the hardest two letters in that whole phrase. It's the full of the mud and the knee deep and the neck deep and the harshness. And we've actually used that term for a long time, that we're in the mud. We're wading through the mud. We can see the shore. I can still see the shore. Apparently, I had to get hit by the tiger shark on the way.
Right.
the crocodile laying in the mud. I mean, I don't know what metaphor to use here, but
now you say apparently, and that's why I asked you in the beginning. Why do you think this is happening?
Okay, because, and thank you for that. You push harder. Is we want things, but we don't realize we're holding on to other things. I've been fighting for this house because this is my wife's home. This is the first home we built together. We rented a place that was crap. I mean, it was nice. Don't get me wrong. We've always lived nice. We always have expensive taste. And we've been able to attract nice places that we can afford. But we lived in a place that the situations were crap. It was horrible. It was we got to get out of here. Moved to another place. Turned out to be the same thing. Not the same thing. It's not, blah, blah. But we got into a house we never should have gotten into because on paper it wasn't right. But we made it a priority. We've made it work for 12 years. And I've improved. My finances have gone up all that time until recently. But it's holding us back. I don't know how. I don't know why. Other than it's 45 minutes from everything, which I don't mind. But there's something out there for me. I don't know what it is. And I was holding on to it. And even looking at the bills, I'm going to fight. We won't pay anything else debt-wise, but we'll pay the house if we have to. And it got to the point, and the universe has just been setting it up saying, you have to let this go. Because literally the month I got laid off, we got a new bank that owned our loan. They just got sold randomly to a new bank. And, I mean, went in effect in August. So as of August 1st, I had a new bank with a new, higher payment that we don't need to go into the details of why on that. But it was, what the hell? And then I got laid off 8 days later. And it's been tough. And it's been pushing and pushing. And the events of this weekend showed we spent about $75 in gas to do nothing. To literally go to the airport. Part of that was $25 for me to go to the airport and come home. I used up a lot of gas doing that. And then $50 of that was Aaron taking the kids, almost getting to the festival site, which is an hour and a half away from us, which is fine. It's whatever. But me also putting money in my car, and then it breaking down, then she looping back. You see where I'm going. It's like, if we were in town, this would have been a much smaller problem gas-wise. We spent $75 to do nothing. And that forced me into looking at the budget hard and saying, I have to let go of this house. And I can't do that for my wife anymore. And she let go of it a good week, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Sometimes with our lives, we're faced with what can be called a perfect storm. A perfect storm of events, a perfect storm of situations, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of times of our own doing. You even said at the beginning of this that you got into a house that looking at the paperwork, you really shouldn't have gotten into. It became your home, but
and I don't mean, just to be clear, I don't mean we spent too much on it. I mean, right before the bubble, the company that gave us the loan pulled some shady stuff to get us in the house, but we were the people you took a gamble on.
Right.
Our house, we only paid $98,000. We could afford that. We made sure to have a payment. So I wanted to be clear because there are people who get into houses that they can only afford a $100,000 home and they get into $300,000. I don't mean that. I mean we were young and a shaky work record, And on paper, you really shouldn't have given us a loan, but we made it work.
Right. Well, that actually worked out to your benefit, and that's why you got,
That's our work ethic.
That's why you got 12 years
Yes.
of this. But sometimes the perfect storm happens because there's certain things that need to be cleared out. You said something earlier that succeeding is hard, and this is not an exact quote, but basically succeeding whatever you want to do is hard. And I'm gonna take umbrage of that, and yet at the same time agree with you. I'm going to agree with you because yes, it is. We're working on Success Freaks, and we're giving away. Basically, we have a great ministry. This is what Charles has said recently. We have a great ministry that we're giving out. But as far as a business, it's really not. It's a fantastic hobby that we have, and we're able to put ourselves out there. There are certain things that we need to learn to do. There are certain things we don't do. Success is hard because we don't have that knowledge yet. Certain things are hard in your life because you don't know how to do it. Football is hard the first couple of times you try it because you don't know how to move your body. Dancing is hard if you're starting to learn ballet, if you're starting to learn ballroom dancing, whatever you're doing. Moving your hands, moving your hips, and moving your feet all at once, no bueno. You're going to fall on the floor, and you're going to be sore most of the time until you start figuring it out. And then it's easy. Oh, all I have to do is this thing. Now that I know that and that I do this, I told my friends that I'm playing this new video game there on Xbox that nobody else seems to be playing, called World of Tanks. And it's got a huge learning curve to it. First, you have to be able to move the tanks and learn how to do that. That's frustrating. All the while, other players, live players, are shooting at you, and you die very quickly. Very, very frustrating. And as I've been playing it, because I'm stubborn enough to keep going, I'm learning how to do this more. Oh, I'm using the land to shield me and different things like that. Now that I know that, success is hard because you have a lack of knowledge. And sometimes the perfect storm hits to, like Charles said, move certain things out of your way. Get things that that are either holding you back or holding you down out of your way, so that you can free yourself up to do what you should be doing, or so that you can learn those things. You can level up your life enough to move forward and achieve those things that you want to achieve.
I'll even take umbrage with what I said and rephrase. It's not hard, because everything does come easy to me, and we can talk about that in the next segment if you want, about how, if life's so hard, how can I say everything comes easy? Because it does. It's growing pains. When you grow, your body's growing and strengthening. It hurts, and that's really, I think, the energy of what I'm saying is I had to let go. Humans don't grow unless they have motivation. Usually that comes in pain. Contact us, Success Freaks, on Facebook. Hashtag us Success Freaks on Twitter, and of course contact at Success Freaks in email. And let us know what's going on with you, how we've helped you, how we've touched you. And honestly, I wouldn't mind a few words of support. We'll be right back. You're right. It's not hard. It's the growing. As soon as you start saying, no, it's the growing pains.
I love this quote that you just gave me.
Okay.
If life's so hard, how come everything comes easy?
All right, cool.
And
that's it's 10 minutes, 49 seconds. Write down, and if you don't get to it, that's fine. We'll still have on beyond everything else, and you still don't control that too. Write down tidal wave.
Okay.
And if we get to it, I've got a very specific thing that just came to me on that.
You're going to give me something more? Because I don't know how to lead into that. Well, damn it, I missed that. There's something I came up with this phrase, and I'm just like, oh, there it is. I wanted to say it in the last time.
Write it down.
I did. It's right here. I looked at it, and that's right. Oh, there it is.
What happens when a tidal wave's coming?
What happens when okay, now this is the segment where you're going to be able to reach out to people and go, what do you do about this? Well, this is what I'm going to do. How do I get through the depression?
If you want to hand lead it, it's fine. We talk about what are you doing? What's next? Lead into how you want to.
Tell me again the tidal wave expression.
What happens when a tidal wave is coming? But it's still not about what's next. You may say that to. If I feel it natural, I'll bring it up myself. But you may save it to on beyond.
For what? The tidal wave?
Yeah, the tidal wave could be saved.
Let's do that.
All right. So I'll do marker then time. Marker time.
Welcome back to Success Freaks. Today we are talking about what is going on when life happens, when you go from knee deep to neck deep. You thought you were doing everything right, and the world comes crashing down around your shoulders. We are speaking with Charles McFall, my fellow success freak, as certain things were happening this week that was just kind of just pounding on him. And last segment, we spoke a little bit about why these things happen and what does it mean and et cetera, et cetera. And a term that I'd written down, forgot to mention, is sometimes this happens because of positive aggravation, meaning that all these things are happening to prod, poke, and move you forward to level up your life so that you can achieve the next thing, so that you can learn how to deal with this. Well, this is not working. My life's not working. You know, I can't afford this, and this went boom, and everything else went bad. And it's like, okay, now you get to learn how to set things up so that when that does happen, it's not a big deal. Dave Ramsey talks about having that 1,000, starting with a $1,000 emergency fund, so that when things go boom. And Charles had that. He does. In fact,
more than that. Actually.
He had more than that. So this is actually not, you know, hitting as hard as it could have. So there's other things that this happens. It's positive aggravation to move you forward. Now, Charles, you've spoken quite a bit about everything that's going on, about how this is affecting you emotionally. What can you offer to people who are going through the same stuff?
Don't go through it. I'll give you, I don't know exact numbers, so I'm just going to start counting them. Keep on giving. I want to talk about that, because I don't have the money to give. I will talk about that. Keep on giving. Make a plan. Be realistic. In these conversations that I've had with my wife, we've talked about the options. We've talked about what we wanted. We've talked about what could happen. And you have to talk about it, because it is desensitization, but it's also letting your brain and your body and your emotions get past the mind or whatever emotion it is to reality, and becoming okay with things. It's the lobster and the slowly boiling water, or the frog, or whatever it is. You know, you slowly turn up the heat. You have to have these conversations. If you stop communicating with those involved, you lock down, everything locks down, and you might get divorced. You might lose everything. And I got to tell you, if I right now, if I had Aaron, I'd have nothing. There's been a song on the radio that hit me this weekend as everything was going on. It's still with me, and I don't remember the title, but it's Christina Aguilera and the other guy, I don't know his name. It's a beautiful piano piece, and the chorus is "Say something, I'm giving up on you." And as soon as I heard that, you know, I thought about myself and I'm singing it to myself, like as almost not a split personality, but as two different people going, I've followed you everywhere you've gone, and you're not talking to me. You're not doing anything. Maybe I'm saying it to God. I don't know. But I'm just saying I don't know. But because I keep trying, Aaron and I have pulled tighter together. So the communication lines have been kept open. We made a plan, not a definitive one, but we said, okay, you can live in denial. And you can say, well, you know what, and hope is a form of denial. I'm not saying be hopeless, but I'm saying, what is it? Hope for the best, plan for the worst? I think it's the axiom is, okay, in the midst of these talks going, I believe that my potential is going to come through, that money's going to come in, that will be okay. I still downloaded an app to try to find houses in the area that we needed them, both city-wise and family-size, for the prices, just to see what was out there. We saw that we could, yes, it's okay, we can afford to move. If that's the plan, if that's the key. So we gather information. We gathered the information. We left ourselves open, and we didn't hide facts from anybody else. So some other information about other houses came to us that wouldn't have come. Make a plan. Be realistic. This can happen, and if you go, well, it's not going to happen, and then it does, you're sunk. What happens if I do file bankruptcy and there's a thing where I could possibly stay in my house, but then I find out, oh, I'm dumb, I didn't really look at my stuff, I don't really know my budget truly, so now I really can't, now I'm last minute stuck. I've got nowhere to go, and that's an emergency. And that's because of me. So I was smart, I was strong through all of this. Keep on giving. I believe in tithing. I believe in reciprocity, the thing we were going to talk about today. And but it has to feel right. And I don't give because I have to. I give because I want to. And Aaron even said, well, we're not going to pay our house payment anymore. Do you want to start writing tithe check? And my first response was yes. My second one was, I don't know how to do that. Because I know how to do that. I know you put it first. I just don't feel right doing it. I feel like I'd be letting her down. Not because she puts that there, but because God doesn't need my money. And I know if I write a check right now, I'm going to be worried about it. I'll be flat out honest. I'm a little obsessed over what's going on right now. Every time I step foot out the door, I think about what it's going to cost me. Every time this weekend, even though I really didn't have work to do this weekend, I really didn't. It was a good holiday weekend. All my stuff's caught up. But every time I had more than 5 minutes just to sit with my own thoughts, like, man, I could be working and earning money, and I'm not. That's what goes on. So you have to communicate those things. You can't let the emotions build up. I've cried a lot this weekend. I'm a little surprised I haven't cried on the show, because you have to let that out. You have to process. But I kept giving. I'm still at the church because I believe in what's going on there, and I'm giving my time. I'm still here on Success Freaks because it's getting towards the bottom of the list of things I can carry, because it's not providing monetary stuff back, but it is helping me grow and helping me do things. But I keep giving them my energy. I was on a phone call today with a charity event that I'm going to do for free, and I'm connecting them with other people that will help them grow, help others be awesome. And that keeps me going. I'm giving. And I had somebody point out to me, you don't have to give money. I mean, money is a thing, especially when I was especially holding money back. That's what I learned this past year was I never gave tithes because I held my money. I started giving my money. Well, maybe I learned that lesson because I can't give my money. I don't have it to give. So that's what I can tell everybody. That's how you level up, is keep giving. Because if you stop, if you're not leaving the house, if you just say I can't all the time, if you're not giving of your energy, if you're not giving of what you have, you're going to lose. Keep talking, because if you don't, you're going to lose. And be smart and realistic. Accept what life can be. Don't hold on to what you want it to be, but accept what it is and where you can go, because it's never as dark as you think it's going to be.
Now, I want to add a few more things to that list, and some just in keeping with what Charles already spoke on. Don't give up on yourself. Believe in yourself enough that you're going to get through this. You've gotten through worse already, and maybe like this is anybody who's gone through a really, really difficult time, and you tell yourself at that moment, you know, this too shall pass, and it's still you're going through the pain of it. I remember going through as a kid, they had to get a bone marrow test for me, and usually they'll dig into your sternum for it. Not just a kid, and it's like, oh, he's a little young, let's dig into his hip. So it was probably the most excruciating pain I ever went through, and they couldn't get it, so they kept digging and kept digging, and I just told myself, I know, I'll get through this, I'll get through it. But you still have to go through the pain, and eventually you do get through this. You know, anybody who's had a hard situation, you know, you've gone through a car wreck, you know, something, your house is burned down. I've had friends who've gone through that. You've gone through a bad breakup. You've gone through a good breakup. You know, whatever that is, don't give up on yourself, because as cliche as it sounds, it's going to help you grow. It's going to help you level up your life. And that's what you're doing right now. You're facing the challenges. And the phrase I like to use, which also sounds very cliche, but it's the truth. Whether it's in real life or video games, the tougher the challenge, the sweeter the victory. As hard as this is, it's what you learn from this, and you're going to be able to share with other people. So don't give up on yourself. Keep exposing yourself to positive things. Charles said that Success Freaks is you know, it's not costing me anything to do it, but time, but it is taking a little bit out of him. However, what it's doing is it's causing him to, forcing him to think about the positive. It's forcing him to think, well, what's the good about this? And that's affecting his life. Whether whether you do something like we do, where you're helping other people be awesome, or you're attending something, or you're reading something, or you're going to a seminar, or you're going to whatever that, keep exposing yourself to something positive so that you can keep going with this. And the third thing, persevere and learn. Hold on, keep going, and learn from this. Level up your life. You know, sure, you may learn and then persevere, but I think that once you learn, you're going to move forward. Once Charles learns about, you know, certain financial things, he'll learn stuff. Once I learn more about business stuff, I'll move forward with this. Until then, you persevere, you hold on, and mostly because you believe in yourself. And those are my 3 things that I just wanted to throw in.
No, that's good. As we're wrapping up here, and we're going to do On Beyond, I want to go back to what I said at the very beginning, is God didn't give you more than you can handle. The universe doesn't throw at you. The universe, I really like the secret in this, the law of attraction, honestly, in this one is, you say what you want, and the universe conspires to bring it about. So if you're negative, it brings about crap in your life. I've never changed my vision for the last 10 years of what I wanted to do. And slowly but surely, always, it's been a level up. It's been a push towards it. Right now, I'll be honest. I was honest with Morton. I'll be honest with you. If I could give up, I would. If I knew there was a way to just get a job and give my wife stability and be done, if that was on the table, I'd be done. I would shut it down in a heartbeat. So I just can't right now. But the universe is holding me to my word. What do you want? And I want to change the world. So there's zero opportunity for me to give up right now. But as a human being, I would. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the fact that I do have to think of in positive ways. And I can't just get on like this is bear crawling and go, this is horrible, and rant and rave. Like, no, what am I going to get out of this? What is somebody else going to get out of this? What effect will it have if I tell somebody about the story? I don't want to be the poor, pitiful me guy. You know, so you're right. That is what Success Freaks is bringing to me right now is, hey, I have to keep my head up because I'm going to tell the story, and I want it to be this way. So what do I do about that? And that's the same with the universe. Is I truly don't want desire. I have no desire to give up, but I would. So the universe is going, no, I got you. It's fine. I got you. And that's where we can leave you. You know, email us your thoughts. Let us know where you are. If this is helping you. We don't charge for coaching. We tried coaching for a while. It wasn't for us. We like to help people. If I can sit there and write you an email or maybe record a quick answer to something that you've got, I will. I'm on Facebook. I message people all the time. I'm on there all the time. I'll talk to you. So if you've got something going on, hit us up at contact@successfreaks.com. I'm on Facebook. It's just look up Charles McFall. And it's Bear Crawling is my Facebook tag. Where else can they find us, sir?
You can go to anywhere on successfreaks.com. All of our social media is available through that. If you have an iTunes account, if you have an iPod, we're available on iTunes. Again, look for Success Freaks. But we're pretty much across the board everywhere. So thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of Success Freaks. We hope that you have garnered something from this. We've shared a little bit about what's going on with us. Please feel free, like Charles asked you to share a bit about what's going on with you. Let's have a conversation. This has been R. Mortimer.
And I don't know what I am, Bear, but I'll figure it out.
Ciao, Success Freaks. Boom, baby.
All right, what ideas, besides the tidal wave, which I think I would like to talk about, what ideas do you have for On Beyond?
I've got The Dream Is Not Sucking You Dry, because there's some people that like, I'm going to mortgage my house just to be able to keep doing my dreams, and it wasn't that. You know, you are responsible. I think that I think that unless you need to talk it out some more. And I think you and I can just do that. I think we've covered everything that's what you're going through. I think that you.
If you have any more questions,
towards
anything you want to bring out, that's fun too.
Right towards the end of it, toward the last 3 minutes, you did a upswing with and started reaching out to people. I'd like to see more of that.
I'll try.
You're doing great. No. There is no try. You're doing it.
There's only do. All right. Let me switch.
I'm not afraid you will be. Zip.
All right. What? Yoda whipped out his penis?
Yeah.
That's what that quote's like. I'm not afraid you will be.
Zip. Oh, Master Yoda, no. Run faster. Run faster.
That was such a horrible scene in Your Highness. The guy from. Oh my God! I know you've seen it.
I've seen the movie.
Okay. Yeah, we won't talk about it here.
Right.
We'll talk about it. It's horrible. All right. So I'm gonna hit time, and then we hit marker. I put 17 minutes on the clock, and then I'll open it up like I always do, and throw it back to you. Marker. Time. Welcome to On Beyond Success Freaks, where we go bigger, better, more into the topic of the episode. This is for all the podcast downloaders and listeners. If you're listening on syndication and on the radio stations, it's a shorter show. We like to give more, fill out the hour for the download. Today we've been talking about life happens, going from knee deep to neck deep, and talking about what's going on in my life and the ramifications of it. And one idea I wanted to talk about, we got a few more things to follow up with. Of course, I'm Charles Mordant's over there on the other camera. Look down, kind of. There's a camera there. He's somewhere over there. Anyway, because if you're audio, you don't get that at all. So, and you can check us out on YouTube.com. Look up Success Freaks. I haven't been taking any of these videos down. You see all behind the scenes, the stops and the starts.
You get all the burping, the scratching, the farting, and the cussing.
Yeah.
So be forewarned.
It's there for you to peruse. The latest one is always up on successfreaks.com/NAS. So you can check that out. I had this idea of tidal wave because there was something else about warning signs about what's to come. The universe is much like a parent, and I'm going to speak as a father in this aspect of when my youngest son is 2.5, he's learning the world. Okay, he doesn't have a sense of inherent sense of right and wrong. Oh, I probably shouldn't do that because logic dictates blah. So he'll do something. The first time I get on to him, I might just even explain, okay, this is why you don't do that. It hurts. Okay, stay away from it. Or I might try to warn him ahead of time or something. The second time he does it, it's a little harsher. The third time he does it, it depends on what's going on. He might get disciplined. Or he'll get disciplined. He might get physical discipline. He might get stuff taken away. Because it's all about I know he wants to be safe. Nobody wants to not be safe. Nobody wants to be dangerous their life and live a short 3-year-old life. So I'm the universe in this sense going, you want this, even if you don't honestly understand that you want this. So I'm going to help you with that. And actually one thing that's been going on with him lately is he trips, not just trips because he's awkward, but he does dumb things, dangerous things, like stuntman things all the time. Hits his head, hits stuff, not hard, not dangerous, but he's crying a lot. And I finally got to the point and go, here's your two choices, because I just don't care anymore. You either toughen up because you keep hitting yourself, or you be careful. And that's the universe sometimes is, okay, toughen up if you're not going to get out of the briars, or be careful. Learn from it. And I'll kiss him and comfort him and hug him, but I'm like, okay, this is like the 20th time today you've hit your head on that same spot, so I can't help you. What happens when a tidal wave comes in? I think they're fascinating, and I blame Mordant for this part of it too. You've always talked about the wave that pushes us forward, and I actually don't blame Mordant, but this isn't that. But when a tidal wave comes in, the tide goes out. Things start disappearing, and it starts very slowly, and then all of a sudden you can see miles of beach where there used to be water, and something's coming. And as I look back at the last couple of weeks, and maybe even months, my business was going up. Everything's going up. I was getting new potential clients. I was talking with new opportunities. I was attracting success. I was doing well for myself, and my star was rising. And with that were my hopes to keep this house. Oh, the bills are getting taken care of. Oh, we're going to do just fine. And it's building. And I think I know I have to be out of this house. I don't know why. I don't know what's coming. But for my next good thing to do what I want to do, I have to go somewhere else. So I had to get past the emotion of holding on to this for all the reasons. And as I look, clients that I had, we were talking every week, and we were just about to sign on the dotted line, can't get a hold of them at all. A radio station that wanted me to run their stuff. I mean, it was work. Okay, get it. Oh, you're so great. They're not doing anything. Just gone. So the other thing I was doing, everything went silent. I'm like, everything's pulling back. As I'm not adjusting my course and going, okay, and you can't sometimes. You can't know every step, everything. And so I guess I saw the signs to let go of the house, and I wasn't. But okay, there's no real reason to hold on to this other than sentimental value. Honestly, for me, there's no reason to hold on to it other than I want to do this my way. And I'm going to fight to do it my way. Sometimes that works, honestly, but not this time. Everything pulled back. So I've left with one option, and that was run for your life because the tidal wave is flashing. And that's why I wanted to bring that up is small signs were going, why can't I get a hold of this client? I don't know. Why can't I get – there's a huge – not like epic where it affected us big, but there's a huge like where did that come from? Miscommunication this weekend involving Mordant and I going, everybody involved, that never happens, ever. I think it was one of everything's pulling back. You really need to pay attention. Are you making the right decision? Because if you don't, you're about to get crashed.
So just like with the parent and the child, it's almost like the universe is saying, okay, you need to do this. No, no, I said you need to do this. Okay, really, you should do. Okay, fine. I'm taking away your toys, and here's the hard lesson. I'm still here, but this is you can keep this, but it's gonna be ugly for you until you're ready to move on. And what happens
Yeah.
when you find yourself in that new place, wherever you're going to be, a new situation, you're like, wow, I have going to the grocery store is a 15-minute drive time there and back, 7.5 minutes, boom, boom, versus an hour and a half.
Or actually, might even be better than that. It could be a minute to the
You know,
store.
so that's that. Let's call that. Let's say an hour. You get an hour back. That's an extra hour you can spend with your kids, an extra hour you can spend with yourself. Hey, I can take this job over here, and it's just 15 minutes. Hey, I can do. So what happens if you're there and like, why was I holding on to that other place? What happens if you, when you move or you do different things, and suddenly new opportunities happens? What happens if, with all of this hard stuff coming on, Charles lives in the Atlanta area, and something that I've just come across recently is that there are movie studios opening up, north, south Atlanta, and I think in one more other place. And it's like, wouldn't have thought about this for him until he talked to me about this and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, you do audio. Why don't you look into this? What if suddenly there's a career? Or something else happens because of the drama that you're going through? What if the perfect storm is just that? It's perfect right now. You're in the right place, doing the right thing. This trouble you're in, it's perfect because it's getting you somewhere you need. It's positive aggravation. It's getting you somewhere you need to be. So bless it and listen.
I blessed it out.
Persevere and learn and keep going. Believe in yourself that you're in the right place at the right time. Not sitting there going, what have I done? I've screwed up. Everything. The universe hates me and I just can't do anything right. Sure, you get your pity party. Everybody gets your pity party. Everybody, you get hit in the face, you get kicked in the nuts, you get that time to slide down and cry a little. Anybody who's had those things happen to them know that that's true. But then pick yourself up because maybe those punches were teaching you, hey, you need to learn to fight.
Boot camp.
Yeah.
That's, as you were talking, that's what I was seeing a little bit is people who truly want to be in the military. And it brings some people out, no doubt. But people who want to be in the military, you go through this beat down. I mean, they strip you down and build you back. And that's partially what I'm doing now. I mean, I don't need to be stripped down. I've had that a few times. And I've been built back. But there's still things you have to let go of. And until you get into that foxhole, until you get into that boot camp, you don't know even that you're holding on to them. And there are places in this world, I'll say, that I turned my nose up at. I would never, ever want to be here in a million years. It's just hard. And through time and reality, I've seen it's not nearly as horrible as my judgmental perception led me to believe. But even with the situation, it becomes down to what's real and what's not. Where can I live? And honestly, I got broken to a point. This was part of me that got broken down. I got broken to the point that it didn't matter as long as I could put a house over my kid's head and it's safe. I can make everything else work. That's where I needed to be. There was something else I was thinking of there. Oh, just like in boot camp, anything else like this, you find out who your friends are. And a phrase that popped in my head recently is, I'm at the point in life, you're either pulling in or you're pulling out. There's no in between right now. And so far, everybody's pulling in. And they know it's going to be a rough ride. I mean, there's times I say stuff that's not necessarily true or polite.
Hurtful.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. His Tortuga partner is D'Angelo. I called him by his first name, but he was saying something earlier. I was like, "Don't make me get D'Angelo as my co-host." He's like, "Oh, hey, come on." So yeah, sometimes even funny jokes can be hurtful. Everybody knows it's a rough ride. Everybody's here, and everybody has said, "What can we do to help?" I mean, Angie, who's a part of us today, immediately on the side of the road is like, "Hey, I can come help," and it was acceptable and welcomed. It just wasn't what we needed at the time. You were saying the same thing. My other business partners have said the same thing that know about this. The church has said the same thing, is what can we do to help? And they're going through almost the exact same thing. This is why I don't like the church I'm in. Because literally as soon as I got there, we started leveling up on the same path together. And the church is suffering, I'm suffering. Yeah, we're all going through the hardship of, do we lose this place, the physical place, and learning the realities of it's not the place that makes the home. I mean, literally, they're looking at, are we going to have to stop having a building? And they're tooling back hard. Still having it, but they're tooling back. I'm going through the exact same thing. I'm like, but it's good at the same time going, I'm not alcoholic, so this is the wrong term, but that's my AA group. You absolutely know what I'm going through because you're going through it right now too.
Right.
And we're learning together. We're all leveling up, and that's important. I mean, these times show you who you can trust and who you can't.
And that's what we're going through, as well as with Success Freaks. You're kind of our own AA group as well. Well, it's unfortunate for Charles. Charles has confided in me recently that he doesn't feel like our message is getting out. He sees that we have some downloads and people are listening, but nobody's really coming back in touch with him. Now, I have a different experience because I'm out in the public eye a lot more. People will randomly come up, and it's been happening once a week, saying that, I love your show. Thank you for what you're doing.
And I gotta say, from my perspective, I believe you, but I just don't believe you. I just don't see it. I get from where I sit, and I'm not bitching about it. I'm just letting the world know where I see. I can see numbers. We got numbers. It's great, but there's nothing left. And in times like this, where the fire sale and you're taking the inventory, is I know what I'm getting on this project. I know what I'm getting on this project, be it money, energy, response, whatever. On Success Freaks, I'm getting to level up. And I get to see your beautiful face every week and talk to you. But that's honestly, and my team, and I love my team to death, but our team, sorry. Yeah, he didn't chastise me. I just corrected myself. Our team. But I know no matter what we ever did, our team would be with us because they invested in us and not the show. So it's like, what's going on? This is life. This is for you going through it too. This is the dark side of the positive here, is when you go through this, you feel somewhat alone, or if at least there's something, you're going to gravitate to what's helping you. And when you guys don't contact, when you don't write in, and Morton tells me, once a week, I was like, I have no concept of believing you. I just can't see it because I don't see any evidence of it. I'm the Native Americans who couldn't see the ship off the shore because they had no concept of ships. That's where I am, and that's what people. That's why depression. I'm not depressed by any means. I'm not even close. I'm sad. That's a whole different thing. That's why depression sets in a lot of times. I think besides the chemical imbalance and medical diagnosis, it's because people feel like they can't see the world around them, and they need extra incentives or extra help, to see what's actually in front of them.
So in this house, in this Success Freaks house, we are. It's like our own personal therapy group. We're sharing a lot of the stuff that's going on with us. You share a lot of the stuff that's going on with you, and we'd like to hear a lot more from you. So, especially with this episode, if this has touched you in any way, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/successfreaks, or email us, contact@successfreaks.com. Reach out and say, hey. Just
reach out and touch somebody.
Reach out and touch somebody. Let us know that you're going through the same thing. We'd like to begin a conversation, and let you know that we are actually allowing this to level up our lives. We're not sitting here and saying, hey, this is how our lives suck. I know your life sucked too. Let's talk about how much your life sucked. That's not what we're about. The sharing part of this, the open part of this, the being transparent part of this is so that you can see we go through it too, and then we can have a dialogue about it. Here's how you move beyond that, and that's the important thing. Look, everybody's got crap going on in their lives. Everybody's got stuff that they're dealing with. Charles has it. I have it. Our friends have it. Our spouses have it. Our boyfriends and girlfriends and everything else has it. Same with you guys. We all have that. The difference that makes us success freaky is that we turn that around and go, what is so good about this that I can't see right now, and how am I going to use this to level up my life? What is trying to be taught to me? What is the universe? What is God screaming at me right now that I'm just going, well, can't you help me and show me a sign? I'm showing you a sign. Boom, there's one. It's not pretty, but it's a sign. Don't go there. Boom, level up your life. There's another sign. Hey, stop drinking. Hey, quit cheating on your wife. Hey, pay your bills. Don't buy that house. You don't need another dog. Quit. Why you want a Ferrari? Stop. They're not pretty signs, but they're signs. to help you level up your life. And maybe it's not, hey, you've done a bad thing because you've got this in your life. That's not what I'm talking about. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's that you're meant for greater things. Let go of these things that you're trying to hold on to. Let go of these things that you're grasping with all of your heart, with all of your mind, with all of your finances, and make way for a better place, for better stuff, for a better relationship with yourself and with the world around you.
Yeah. I mean, I could have said it any different. Yeah.
How much time we got left?
Less than a minute, so we're good. Let's write that down.
Well, do you have anything else you want to say? You got less than a minute.
For one last thing, when you hear me down and you hear me talk about the reaching out, take note of that. I think that is a very key issue when your focus has to go from I can't look at everybody else to I have to look at just this. And I don't mean just your mindset, which that happens in depression and everything else, but I'm being forced to, and more to understand this, success freaks means nothing next to my wife. I have to take care of that first. When you're doing that and you're taking inventory of what's valuable, if you want to be valuable, give value. You know, if your first response to me is, oh, well, people love you, get over it, maybe you got something else going on in your mind. Because I've done that to other people. I've said that to other things, and now I see a different perspective of, then there's definitely people who don't have the ability to see what's going on. And there's sometimes when, I'm just using an example, it hadn't actually happened this way, but there's sometimes when Morton will tell me, man, you really should do this. And then my friend Marcy will say, you should really do this. And then Aaron will say, you should really do that. And I go, oh, I'll do that. And I didn't hear it from the first two people because it just didn't click. Or vice versa, it's actually more likely that Aaron will tell me something and it won't click, and then somebody else will tell me something. Just understand that everybody needs help sometimes, even you. And that's, if you come from that mindset like I have for the past almost 20 years now, holy crap, 1995 to now, man. So 19 years or so, you know.
Is that when you were born?
Help sometime.
Is that when you were born?
That's when I became a medic.
Oh.
And that's when I learned that lesson of everybody needs help sometimes. And I've been doing that for, I say, the last 15 years, living from that perspective. It's easy to give help, and it's easy not to get offended when you're trying to help somebody and they don't get it. So if you're out there going, but we do this and we show you, thank you. That's all I can say. So.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to On Beyond Success Freaks. I hope you have enjoyed this really, really in-depth look at a week in the life of going from knee deep to neck deep. Hope you are having a better day, and you will hear from us again in about a week. This has been R. Mon.
And I'm the small print bear where side effects may include leveling up your life and hating us. You are uncomfortable. Get over it.
Ciao, Dream Hunters. Boom, baby.
I just bounced in my microphone. All right, put the marker. Stop this.
We got to do the teaser.
Stop that.